Today we are going to be going through all of the camera gear that I use on an almost daily basis when I'm photographing first responders, firefighters, and the like. As far as I know, none of this stuff was sent to me as a sponsorship or anything, paid for it out of my own money, or it was a gift. So let's get into it. First off, I've got this is the Insta360 X4, and if you've seen my POVs, like where it's mounted on my chest, that's what I use this camera for. I've used it for some other stuff. It's nice, you can just kind of set it down, and it being a 360 camera, you can reframe it afterwards and get exactly what you need from it, multiple different angles and things like that. Video quality is not the greatest. I mean, it's obvious that it's an action camera, but it's waterproof, it's pretty durable. The sound quality is not terrible, so it works out pretty well, but not my main camera. I'll put some links to this stuff down below if it's something you're interested in. They won't be affiliate links or anything along those lines, but you can at least go find them. There is a newer version of this, the X5, that came out a couple months ago, I think, so whatever on that. Camera strap, I've gotten a lot of questions about this. This is from Coiro, C-O-I-R-O. Not sure if how you say it. That's how I say it. It is a leather camera strap. There's lots of different companies that make these. I have no idea where this one was made, but this was a Christmas gift from my dad. It's worked out really well. I know there's some debate whether having camera straps or not. I like it, especially for what I'm doing. Keeps my hands free. I can do whatever I need to, and I've got my camera or cameras that are right there ready to go. If I need to change lenses, I'm not setting it down because none of this stuff is happening in a studio environment. Well, I guess other than this. And so it's always unpredictable, and being able to not set your camera down on the ground if you can avoid it is huge. Let's get into the camera bag. So first, this is from PGY Tech. It is I believe it's the OneMo 2. This is the 25 liter, and there's also a 35 liter, but this does everything that I need it to in a pretty small package. So we're gonna set this over there. The one thing I like about this, we'll turn it so you can see it, is it has these pockets on the outside, so I can just unzip this and I have access to my camera. And the one that I'm filming on right now is normally up here, so without opening the back and letting everything fall out, I can just grab these right away from there. But for this, let's open this. And then the top, this is the back. So if you set it down in the snow or the mud or whatever, what's against your back when you pick it up is not getting dirty. Your straps are staying clean, and it's just that. I don't know if it's actually waterproof, but it's definitely maybe like a water resistant outside, so I don't worry about that too much. First, I have my Nikon Z63 with the Tamron 35 to 150. Probably 80% of the photos that I take are done with this camera. For me, I think this is the ideal setup, especially if you're only running one camera. You can almost replace a 24 to 70, 70 to 200, and 35 1.8 with one camera and lens combination. It's a little bit on the bigger side, but it's really not that much bigger than a 70 to 200. It doesn't weigh that much. And if it's less than 3 pounds, if that's too much weight for you, probably should look into a gym membership. I'll take this just by itself. If I'm just going somewhere, I won't bring this whole bag sometimes, and I can cover almost everything I need to with this. Sometimes it's not quite long enough and not quite wide enough. You gotta zoom with your feet or bring another lens, but I've been very happy with this, and this does a really good job, this lens, because it's f2 to 2.8, so it's very fast, lets in a lot of light, and that is imperative at nighttime. The camera does a pretty good job. I mean, all the mirrorless do a really good job handling low light, getting those higher ISOs, but a clean, usable image still. So I love this combination. The Z63 fixed, as far as I'm concerned, all of the problems that Nikon was having. Autofocus is no longer an issue. I can point it at something and it just finds what it needs to. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments down below if you want to see some more in-depth details on this, how I have this set up. I've done a little bit of customization to it to make sure it runs exactly how I want it to. So if you're interested in more of the technical side of things, let me know in the comments down below. We'll set that there. I'm filming on the Nikon Z30 right now. That was the first mirrorless camera that I ever bought. Didn't really know that much about it. Probably not the most ideal for what I'm doing now. Works alright as a video camera though. And so I have...
First shot at 1255 South North Road at Boulder Creek Apartments, Apartment A104, Channel 3.
Interesting. I guess on that topic, I also have a Motorola. This is the XTS 5000. This is a decommissioned fire department radio, and it's set up like a scanner, so I can't talk on it. Just does that if I try to talk, which is good. I don't need to talk to anybody on here. Saves me from bumping the button, taking up radio channels or any of that stuff, or my kids talking on it. But I've got all the fire department channels programmed in here. It's a lot more durable than some other scanners. You can pick these up for a couple $100 on eBay, and then you just gotta find somebody to program it, and it works really well. Let's turn that down a little bit. So we were talking about the Z30. It's an APS-C camera, so it doesn't do as well in low light. It doesn't have a viewfinder, but I use that. I've got a wide angle lens on there that, to be honest, it's really just a lens cap because I always switch that lens on here and kind of back and forth like that. But I will carry 2 bodies from time to time, or I'll throw this on there. This is my 85mm 1.8. Great for portraits, great for isolating the backgrounds, which on fire scenes, there's usually a ton of distractions in the back. So if I want to do like a candid portrait of somebody, I will use this lens, or really low light. This lets in even more light than any of the other lenses, so it helps with that. So I love this lens. It's nice, small, compact, but it does a really good job. So we'll put that over there and try to not knock it on the floor. I've got this little desiccant pouch. I keep saying it. Yeah, desiccant. I got this on Amazon. I don't know if it actually really does anything. I haven't had any condensation in my bag since I got it, so I guess. But you can just throw this in the microwave when this changes colors, this little blue mark here, and it will apparently dry it out, and then you can throw it back in here. So I'll put a link down below for that if you want to pick it up. It says microwave it for 3 minutes, and it dries it out. So it's hot, it's humid. I'm constantly in very poor environments doing this, so if I can protect my gear any way I can, so this was an easy way to do it. The last lens I carry with me on a daily basis is the Nikon 180-600. This is
25 assist. Engine 11's company, 2 people shot.
ooh,
1255 Southburn Road, near Claudia, that's in the Boulder Creek apartment.
I'll go to fires, car accidents, that kind of stuff, but I do not go to
Engine 4,
people shot, any police matters for the most part. I don't know what I'm doing on that side of things. It's just more dangerous than it needs to be, and so that's kind of where I draw my line. But anyway, so 180-600, I don't use this all that often, but times when this might be a good example. I could stand way back and zoom in on things that I want to, stay out of the way, hazmats, that kind of stuff. Anytime that I can't get close safely, or just whatever's going on, really want to zoom in, I'll use this. It doesn't come out all that often, but it's not that heavy. I'm not hiking with this bag. It sits in my truck till I get there, and that's that. So I'm not too worried about weight with this kind of stuff. Yes, there are lighter options, but that's that. So I carry this. I've used it maybe once or twice in the last month, but enough that I still carry it in here, and it fits barely.
check for person down,
Other things I've got in this main pouch, I've got a grip selfie stick type thing for the Insta360. So this extends a little bit, not crazy, and it's got these, there we go, feet that come out the bottom, and so it just forms a little tripod. Gets it, I don't know, probably close to 2 feet off the ground if you set it on something. And you, like I said earlier, you can just put the camera on here. You don't have to worry about what it's pointed at. You can reframe it afterwards, which is cool. It just uses a lot of processing power on a computer. I've got the M4 MacBook Pro, so it handles it pretty well. I had to upgrade because the MacBook Air just wasn't cutting it. And then normally the camera would sit here, and so it's a compact thing that fits in your pocket, kind of. So basically the camera fits like that without the back piece on it, so works out pretty well. Last but not least, down in here I've got a Verizon, this is the MiFi hotspot. So the coolest thing about maybe not the coolest thing, one of the things I love about this camera, I can connect my camera to Wi-Fi and upload pictures directly to the cloud. I use Lightroom as my editing software, so hit 2 or 3 buttons on the back of the camera, it'll upload it directly to my editing software. So I could be at a fire scene, I could be editing photos on my phone that I just took on here and post them right away if there's something that I want to post while I'm still there. It's a lot easier when I get home. I can just plug my camera into power and it connects to my home Wi-Fi, and it uploads photos, and I can go do whatever else I need to. I don't have to sit there and sift through pictures. Really quick, and you don't have to worry about corrupting cards as much because you're not pulling them out and changing them through computers and all that. So that is a really cool feature that I don't see a lot of people talking about. If you're interested, I can do a video on how I set that up. There's some other videos out there, but again, throw it in the comments down below if you're interested in the more technical side of things. I also carry, there's a little pocket here that I carry all my spare batteries in. So I've got 2 for the Z63 and 1 battery for the Z30, which I'm seeing we're gonna have to change this. So I think that's everything that I keep in here. In this pocket, I've got a folder, which I just have some invoices if I'm doing paid work that I just carry with me. And then I also carry a safety vest in here, just a reflective vest if I need it. I've got more of that stuff, more of the safety stuff I keep in my truck, but yeah, this is just the photography side of it. We can go through that at a later date as well. But I carry that because you never know where you're gonna find yourself. And that is everything in here. I like the amount of storage space that I get. Sometimes I wish it was more, but I would just fill it up with a bunch of stuff I don't need. So it fits really well. All of these dividers, so I can do this without spilling it. All these dividers come out. You can move it however you need to. This is probably the third iteration of it, but it works out. It does exactly what I want. So let's get this battery changed, and then we'll go through the other side of the bag.
Hey, it's Future Joe. While he's doing that, I just want to say that gear is not the only thing that matters. I acknowledge the fact that yes, I have very nice gear, and I likely wouldn't be able to capture some of the images I do without the gear that I have. That being said, you can get great results with almost anything if you know how to use it. I'd say spend more time learning how to use the camera that you do have, even if that's an old DSLR or even just a smartphone, and spend less time researching the next latest and greatest, whatever piece of gear is out there. Master getting good compositions and the perfect exposure every time, and then you can upgrade when the gear is holding you back, not the other way around.
All right, we got the battery changed, so let's get this closed up, zipped up. So we've got this side with the pockets. We'll go to this side. This water bottle holder, I keep a small little tripod in there. If I'm doing like a live stream on my phone, I can use this. If I need to just set up a camera for something real quick. It's not the best tripod, it's from Amazon. I've had this forever. Works okay. And then I also keep a pair of safety glasses in here. So I've got safety glasses, a pair of nitrile gloves, and then some hearing protection too. So now let's lay this down and get into the front pocket here. So this kind of opens out of the way like that. And in here, I've got a little tube light. I've not gotten into flash photography, but sometimes you need just a little bit more light. This is from New Ear, and that is, you can adjust it from 10% up to 100%. Definitely not as bright as a flash, but you can also control different. This is an RGB light, so it's got all different combinations. There's a phone app. You can do effects. You can have it like do fireworks or police lights, or I don't really play with that. I pretty much just use it as a just an additional light if I need something. You can kind of stick it in the corner or whatever you need. I don't use it all that often, but I carry it. I've got an extra camera strap, just one of these, and this has Peak Design clips on it. All of my cameras have Peak Design. And I actually got this modified. It does not come like this, but I took it to a local leather shop and had them add these Peak Design quick clips. I think that's the name of what they are. We added those on there as well, just so I could quickly add or change cameras or anything like that. I've got a modifier for the light. I've got my battery charger. This is for the batteries for the Z63. So there's 2 of them that go in there. That works out really well to be able to charge multiple batteries quick like that. And then I also carry a CF Express Type B. This also has a normal SD reader on it. So I've got that just to be able to quick plug into my computer, into my iPad, or even my iPhone. And I can pull the photos off of there if I need to as well. The problem with doing the Wi-Fi thing I talked about earlier, it can't transmit videos that way. So if I'm doing anything with video, I have to use this. Not that big a deal, but that's the main reason I carry it. I've got some more hearing protection in here. I have, a lot of this is just kind of catch-all stuff that I've used like once, or one time I wished that I had it, so it just goes in here. This bag has a ton of space, so I tend to, I believe it's the Goldfish that just expands to fill the size of the tank you give it. So this is for the Insta360. I've got a lens cleaning cloth, but more importantly, I've got 2 of the, these are tempered glass, basically little filters that go on there. It's fairly durable, but I'll put those on if I'm doing something that I know might subject it to a little bit extra. So I've got that in there. I guess I've got a little SD card case, not sure why. The battery charger also has, I carry 2 extra SD cards in this little spot here, just to always have extra memory cards. Got a white balance card checker thing here. I have a ton of these. My lens is always getting dirty from various things. How many more of these do I have in here? There's a bunch of them in there. I've got a little suction cup mount that I can use with the Insta360. This is too small to use with pretty much anything else, but just to be able to stick that somewhere. I carry extra lens and camera caps in there. I've got my NPS carabiner just to be able to hang things if I need to, which maybe I should put this on my eye protection case. Another cap. These are microfiber cleaning cloths that I haven't even opened yet. I've got a step up ring for this works on my wide angle lens that I'm currently shooting, and then I can put an 82mm filter on that, which we will get to in a minute. I've got a remote. These are for the 2 lights that I'm using here, so I can change color and all that. I've got a little blower. This actually came in a different kit, but it works really well to just be able to blow sensors, lenses, any of that stuff if you get some dust on there, which I seem to always have. And it feels good because it's currently 86 degrees in this garage, so if it looks like I'm sweating, I am. What else do we have in here? I've got a little power station. This one, I actually mounted I don't remember what this came off of, but I've got a little cold shoe mount on the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that. So I can actually slide this right on top of either the cameras and then connect it with a USB-C cable to my camera and power it that way. So it kind of becomes a little bit of it's not a V-mount, but I already had this, so I figured I might as well use it. It works pretty well. I can get a bunch of extra time out of it. Some more caps. I've got a cold shoe to threaded mount, whatever size this is, so I can mount my Insta360 on top of a camera if I want to. So I've done that for POV shots as well before I was using the chest rig. Just kind of gives a different perspective. I've got a little multi-tool. Really, I just use this for tightening base plates or anything like that. It's just 4 different screwdrivers, I think. So that works out really well too, just something to carry with you. You never know when you're gonna need to tighten it. I carry some of these extra, these are the actual quick release things that go on your camera. I'm sure everybody's familiar with these. I carry those just in case I need something else. Most importantly, I carry some snacks. Uh-oh, I'm almost out of snacks. I gotta replenish that. But if you're out, need a little bit of fuel, don't tell my kids that I raided their snack drawer, but we gotta refill that. And that is everything from here. One last thing I forgot about on the side, this little pocket. This bag has so many pockets, I actually start forgetting what I have in here. This is this is from K&F Concepts. It's a ND filter. It is a 2 to 400. It is their Nano B series. I don't really know all that. It works pretty well. I use this a lot of times. I don't do much with video, but I will use this for video. And then I also use this if I'm doing like really slow shutter speed panning shots. I've done that a couple times. Helicopters, it looks really cool. So I carry this. I don't use it all that often, so I haven't upgraded to something super nice. And this is actually in a Polar Pro case. It barely fits, but it does. I have the Polar Pro. It's a filter. I believe it's tempered glass. That's on the 35 to 150. It's the only lens that I have that on. I don't have any filters or anything on any other lenses, but what I'm doing with that, sometimes it gets into a spot it's probably not the best. So there's actually a couple little scratches on that, so it might be time to look at replacing it. But otherwise, I use the lens hoods, and I think that does a really good job protecting stuff, and I don't really want to put cheap glass in front of nice glass, and I don't really think you need it. So there is everything that I carry. I think it's really cool to see what other people have, because there's a lot of times I've seen stuff and like, that's a really good idea. I'm gonna put that in there. So let me know in the comments down below what you think is the best thing. I mean, cameras are great and all, but I really like seeing the extra stuff that people carry. I started putting this little multi-tool in here because I watched a video and somebody had it, and now I've used it a bunch of times. Let me know if you want me to dive a little more technically into things. If you want to see the rest of the gear that I have, just put that in the comments down below. If you want to see what I actually use this stuff for, check out this video up here. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, and that is where I posted all of the photos, and you can check out my website and look at all the photos that I've ever taken of fire department stuff. You can download those for free for personal use.